Okay, I'm going to start off very raw, and honestly, I spent a lot of my life being ashamed of how sensitive I am and carrying that shame around with me and not understanding why I feel things so deeply and why other people don't seem to be as affected. I always felt like I love more, I always felt like I care more, I always felt like this was something that is wrong with me and that there's something wrong with me, that there's no good parts about this, and that this shouldn't be something that I'm proud of, that I should be ashamed of it, that I should try to repress it, that I should try to only carry the shame with me and not the good part of feeling so much. And it took me a while, I would say it took me about 20 years to realize how beautiful it is that I feel so much and what a superpower it is. And ever since I realized that, it has helped me tremendously to propel me forward in life, and I've been able to transform all of those deep feelings and all of those really, really intense emotions of pain, of anger, of irritation, of fear. I've been able to take that and kind of alchemize it into something beautiful, into fuel towards the future that I want, into joy, into happiness. And all I really had to unlearn was to not carry the shame about that around with me, and to just be able to sit down with my feeling and just allow myself to feel them and not feel bad for it and not be ashamed of it, and just sit through it and feel it. And that really allowed me to take any kind of intense pain, intense disappointment, intense fear that I was feeling, that I felt like I was feeling so much more than anyone else around me, and I've been able to transform that into something absolutely amazing. I've been able to get so much fuel out of the disappointments in my life, and I think that is something that you as a hypersensitive, overly emotional person need to realize, that there is such a superpower, there's such a power inside of you that you can get from feeling so deeply. Because what you need to realize is that in you feeling things so deeply, there is a tremendous energy that is created. And whether you think that that is something that is traditionally looked at as a bad energy, let's take fear, for example, let's take sadness, for example. Whether you think that emotion is a bad thing and you feel it really, really intensely, so you think that it is a really bad thing, you have to realize that energy never disappears. Energy doesn't just go poof like nowhere. Energy only transforms. So you being able to create this intense energy, this intense power inside of you, you can take that and you can alchemize it and you can transform it into something beautiful. And you have so much more fuel inside of you to go after your dreams, to go pursue the person that you want to be, to go get good feelings and really, really deep happy emotions. You have so much more of that inside of you just because you feel so deeply. And this thing that you thought was a disadvantage your whole life, and you always tried to hide it and you always had so much shame about it, it is the singular thing. It is the secret to your success. You learning how to take that energy and put it into something that is truly important to you, and learning how to not be ashamed of how deeply you feel, and you being okay with always being the person who loves more, and always being the person who cares more, and always being the most affected in any situation. That is not a bad thing. I think so many of us struggle with vulnerability, and although I think our generation is doing a lot better than any previous generation with being open and being vulnerable, especially about our feelings, I think it's still something that we struggle with a lot, and that is looked at as a weakness. I do think that as women, we tend to be a bit more open about it, and we tend to talk about it more with our friends. We tend to process these things a bit better than men. But I think if you're a highly, highly sensitive woman, there's a reason you're watching this video. You know, women are typically described as people who let their feelings out, and we can talk about our feelings and we open up about our mental health. If you're someone who clicked on this, I bet that you're someone who thinks there's something deeply, deeply inherently wrong with you. That is how intensely you feel things, and you think that's not normal at all, and you might open up sometimes about it, but then you feel this shouldn't be happening, so you just repress it and you try to not feel it. And I think something that really helped me with that, and that kind of started to turn this whole thing around for me, was journaling. For a lot of time I didn't open up to people about how intensely I felt, and I just tried to repress it, and it just spiraled and just created this huge wave and just more waves of negative emotions because I was trying to repress how much I feel and how truly sensitive I am instead of embracing it. And I think the start of that journey really began with me just writing my feelings down. And I, just by encountering an intense situation and being able to put that into words and being able to let it out, doing that over time, I started to realize that this is not something that I should ever be ashamed of, because it is a beautiful thing to be able to feel things so deeply. You might think now about sadness, you think about anger, you think about fear, and it overwhelms you how deeply you're able to feel that. But think about all of the happy moments, think about all of the love, all of the joy that you feel so much more deeply than the people around you. And I'm not saying that this is something not anyone can do. There are people who are naturally a lot more sensitive, but I think it also just comes down to how in tune you are with yourself. Maybe if you're someone who doesn't think they're very sensitive, you're just not very in tune with your emotions. And that is a good thing if you're naturally in tune with your emotions and you're so sensitive. And I think learning how to channel that out in a way that doesn't create shame. Like I said in the beginning, for me that was journaling. Maybe you can just find one person you trust to talk about it. And maybe you whip out your camera and you just start talking to the camera and just practice that vulnerability. And over time, it's going to become natural with you to be able to share that and to not feel shame about it. And you're going to start to realize how many beautiful things you can build from being so sensitive. A truly powerful thing that is that you can put into anything you choose to. Why do you think people go through glow-ups after breakups? It's because that pain, that energy, it doesn't just go nowhere, it doesn't disappear. It transforms. That pain transforms into beauty, it transforms into joy, it transforms into happiness that you find in other things, that you put into other things. Find that energy within yourself and then you put it out in the world and you put it into other things. And that is your superpower, and that is what makes you so beautiful. And it's not something that you should ever be ashamed of. It's not something that should hold you back. It only holds you back if you let it. It only holds you back if you're ashamed of it, if you're scared of it. Once you learn how to embrace that and how to let it out in a way that's authentic to you, in a way that feels good for you, in a way that doesn't make you feel ashamed, or in a way that's not very painful for you, because it can be really painful, but your ability to sit through that pain is your strength. You being able to feel things this deeply, why do you think God gave that to you? Why do you think the universe, whatever you believe in, gave that to you? Because not everyone is able to take those feelings. Not everyone is able to sit with the intense emotions that you have. Some people couldn't take it. Some people are not able to take how intensely they feel things. But you are able to. Your whole life you've been able to take that, and you just thought that there was something wrong with you, and you thought that you were not able to take it, but you're still here. You're here and you're taking it. And soon you're gonna learn how to channel it and how to transform it and how to alchemize it into fuel that you can use for anything you want. You can use it for your career, you can use it for your love life, you can use it for your friends, for your family, you can channel it into art. If you have intense pain, intense fear, intense sadness, that is fuel. That is fuel that is going to take you to intense happiness, intense fulfillment, intense joy, intense creation. Whatever those good feelings are for you, you're able to transform those bad feelings or feelings that you categorize as bad into those feelings, into those good things. You're really able to do whatever you want. Sorry. Out of breath again. This is going to be a theme in my videos. I'm just out of breath because that's how passionate I am. But do you see now how beautiful it is that you're this way? And will you stop being ashamed of it finally? I've always, my whole entire life, I think for about 20 years, I went around being so scared of people seeing this vulnerability and this intensity that I have. And I was so ashamed of it. And I never thought that this was something good, and I always thought it was something that I should hide, and that there's something very wrong with me for being such a sensitive, such an emotional person. And I think once I really started to embrace it and just say, yes, I am very sensitive. I am very emotional. I cry very easily. You can be little with me to me, I will cry. I will see a movie, I will see animals, I will cry, and that is just who I am. And once I started to just embrace it and own up to it and not feel bad for it, because there's nothing, absolutely nothing wrong with it, it is a superpower, that is when my life started to turn around, and I was able to accomplish things that I never thought I would be before, because I had that fuel, because I had that intensity inside of me. If you're very sensitive, if you're very emotional, that means you're an intense person. And if you're an intense person, you can go out there and you can do anything you want with that intensity. You can do the career that you want very intensely. You can be there for your family very intensely. You can support your friends very intensely, and that is a beautiful, magical thing, and not everyone is able to do that. If you feel things so much, you are the one feeling those things so much, because other people, they wouldn't be able to carry that. They cannot carry that, but you can. That is why it was given to you. That is why you have that ability, and that is why you are going to be the one who's going to be able to transform that into something magical, into something beautiful. And that is why you have always been able to create so much love and so much happiness outside of you, even if you don't realize that now. But I'm sure there's at least one time in your life that you can look back at, or one person in your life that you can look back at, and you can think, yes, when I was with them, they were so magical for me. There was so much beauty, so much love inside of them. And that is because the outside world is a mirror. And in that mirror, you saw who you are. And you saw all that love and all the beauty that you have within yourself. You saw that in that other person. And this goes for qualities that you don't think you have as well. If you think someone's really charismatic, really confident, that is a quality that you have inside of yourself. Maybe you just haven't tapped into that. But with that intensity that you have, you can do anything. You can tap into any quality that you want. And you can really go out there and do absolutely anything that you want. And I'm so tired of highly sensitive people being told to just shut up and bottle it in and be ashamed of their feelings, because your feelings are what makes you so special. Your feelings are what give you the ability to experience this world in a way that not many people get to. And that is a true, true blessing. And you can go out there and do anything with that. And that is what I want you to know. You just need to realize what is the way that you personally can stop being ashamed of it and can channel it into something, and can start to transform it and alchemize it into the other side of intensity, into these positive feelings, into this positive path that you want to put that energy into. And I'm very sure that one day you will find that. And I wish you nothing but the best. Just try. Just keep trying different things that work for you. Maybe it's going to be journaling, maybe it's going to be talking, maybe it's talking to yourself in your room, walking in circles. I definitely do not do that. But you're going to find it one day, and this pain that you have now that is so intense that you don't think you can carry, you are already carrying, and you will be able to transform it into something so beautiful that one day you will be able to recognize that that beauty came from inside of you. You transformed it. You made the world around you that beautiful, that full of love. I think any highly sensitive person just experiences that so beautifully. And I cannot wait for you to experience that and go out there and transform your entire life. Because I know you're able to do it. So, I mean, if I was able to do it, anyone's able to. So really, nothing special. We're all the same. It's just comes down to mindset. Anyway, I hope you could take away at least one thing from this video. I hope the autofocus was a bit better this time than last time, because this camera was going crazy. And I'm wishing you all the best. I'll see you next week. And I'm out of breath a lot of times because I'm standing here, just standing here. I should get a better setup. I should sit somewhere. Anyway, I will see you next week. I wish you all the best on your journey, and yeah, good luck.